Hey, what's up, you guys? Jose here with Indy Grimo Limousine Service in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is our 2004 Ford Expedition family style coach. Long story short, I'll get straight to the point. So we got eventually started experiencing some engine light trouble. We're getting some several error codes. A lot of it was ultimately resulting back to some exhaust issues. So I was able to finally, just over the weekend, she pooped out on us completely, so lost all power. Engine light was flashing while we were on the highway, and then the RPM shot up to about 4,000 or 5,000 on us. So we got over to the lane, right lane and shoulder, and parked her and got her towed home. But I wanted to show you what I found out. So this has actually been a pretty persistent problem. I'll tell you what, I mean, the engine light would flash and then it would stop and then it'd be okay. And that happened for the last 6 months or so. I want to show you what I did here. So no surprise as to some of the material you're probably looking at here. This is going to be from our catalytic converter. This was debris here that you see actually was from the first section, which is kind of a pain in the ass to get to, excuse my language. It's actually still up here. I'll show you. This is our first section here. I'm going to see if you can see in there. I don't know how well you can see that or not. So what happened is this first piece here, which is the upstream, actually the O2 sensor is just way on this top side here. That's easy to get to, but where this actually bolts up to the manifold is a little more troublesome. I probably created myself a little bit extra work here, but I think some of us do that every now and then. I'll show you. So trying to get it here to the manifold where it bolts directly right in here. I actually cut this first bolt right here. I cut through it, and I'm having trouble getting down to this second bolt here. So that one sucks. I'm going to try to figure out what I need to do to get this piece off here. So the upstream, anyway, all the honeycomb material and pretty stuff inside that catalytic converter broke apart. Pushed back into the downstream O2 sensor, which is the second portion here. I wanted to show you this. It's actually pretty impressive. So all the material that blew from the front into here collected on this second honeycomb section. I want to show you this. It is entirely, I'm trying to get the sun here, I apologize. It has completely caked. I mean, I think 90% of that honeycomb in there is completely clogged. Let me get a light for you. I got a work light. I'm gonna try to shine it down in there. But I found my culprit anyway. I'm glad I was able to finally and ultimately get down to that. But look, I mean, just, oh man, the lighting kind of sucks. But this dude is completely packed, man. I mean, like literally, like I said earlier, like 90% of it is packed. I'm sure this has happened on both sides. So some of the error codes I was getting was, you know, obviously lean in bank 1, lean in bank 2, which makes sense since all of this exhaust was pretty much back pressuring and not being able to flow through. This last time around, like I said, she got really sluggish. I didn't dog down on her. Obviously, she's pretty heavy as she is, so it was kind of easy on her. But I was hoping the engine light, the flashing, would actually would pass, because it hasn't in the past. But she didn't this time. She gave up on us completely. So to play it safe, like I said, we pulled her over ASAP, parked her, and I kind of was thinking at first, just because I'm not really a mechanic, I do replace parts here and there, but I don't do in-depth mechanical as far as, you know, transmissions and engines and rebuilds. But anyway, I'm really glad and happy to have found this solution, or at least the problem here. So now I'll see what my next step is as far as trying to get this crap replaced. But that is a lot of junk in this piece here, man. I don't even know how this poor engine was breathing. So I got a lot of misfire codes and stuff ultimately now, so went ahead and bought the 8-pack of the ignition coils, and we'll get this whole thing tuned up and the new catalytic converter on both sides, and yeah, so I'm glad to have found this issue. So I don't know, I guess if you know, there was a tutorial that I watched earlier where the gentleman had drilled a hole on the upside, drilled a hole on the downstream side, and was checking the pressure between the two. And obviously, if this is clogged, then you'll get a lot of compression or high pressure reading on the front end of it and on the upstream, naturally, because it's not being able to flow through. So there you have it. I don't know if I really taught you anything, but hey, if you're curious as to what your sluggish problem may be, check out your catalytic converter. It'll save you a lot of trouble. I probably should have done this a year ago. Bye.